Please start, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, good morning for you, ladies and gentlemen. And now we're ready to start our meeting about HMB SOFT. And I hope it is only our first meeting because I have a lot of information about it. And during this meeting, I try to give you an introduce to HMB SOFT questions, to world of HMB SOFT. And I will try to discuss with you the main question. First one about the rule system of HMB SOFT. Second one about the equipment of HMB SOFT. And third one about the safety during the training with children. And speak some words about the information politic when you discuss the HMB SOFT question with parents, with another people, etc., etc., etc. And for the most effective work, I offer you the next scheme. So I will speak you some information and ask me a question because my English is not so perfect. I can describe you the information and I can speak, but when I use notebook, when I use phone, my understanding is not very good. But after a part of my speech, I will do a pause, and you can write me a question in the chat, and I answer, and after that start to speak about next question. Is it okay?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So, okay. At first, some words about the history of HMB SOFT. HMB SOFT, like part of historical fencing, like part of HMB, was started in Russia, I think, in 2001, in maybe 2005, in these years. And there are some clubs in Russia, in some cities, where we started to teach children. For example, in St. Petersburg, it was my club, Peresvet, in Vologda, this is a city in the northeast and east in Russia. This is in Vologda. It was a club Istok. In Orekhovo-Zuyeva, in Moscow, and in some other cities, there are some clubs where somebody tried to teach children in historical fencing. And in December of 2007, there was a first big competition where the most of these clubs meeting together and trying to create the one system of rules, trying to create one system of competition, etc., etc., etc. And after that, in 2016, the board of HMBIA start discussion with me and with my friends about the possibility to create the system of international children historical fencing. And it was a date of born of HMB SOFT, I think, and the first big event of HMB SOFT was in Battle of the Nation in Czech Republic in 2016. There is no competition. There is what a first HMB SOFT camp, and in that camp there is no there's only Russian children, unfortunately, because it was only the first step. But next year in 2017, we already had a big championship in Prague. I think you remember this. There are many photos and video in internet from this competition, and it was the first real international competition of HMB SOFT in the world. What is the main principle of the rule of HMB SOFT, and what is the differences between HMB rule system and HMB SOFT rule system? we work with children, so we must think about safety at first, not about effective, not about show, but about safety. And it was the most important thing when we created the rule system of HMB SOFT. Yes, of course, we use the soft weapon, and we use the very light gear, very light uh, protection, but we fight. Our children fight, and this is a rather dangerous situation. So, at first step, we must create some. I'm sorry. I tried to. I tried to remember the word.
Regulations?
No. Some age categories. So why? Because when we have children, for example, 12 and 13, it is it's rather one weight, it's rather one possibility of fight, etc., etc., etc. But this is no possibility to fight between children 12 years old and, for example, 16 years old, because there are most differences between these ages. So now we have in HMB SOFT 4 categories of ages: 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, 17. In all these categories, we have competition only with shield and sword. Now I speak about 1 against 1, because another big idea to fight 5 against 5. We have this group battle in HMB SOFT 2. I will speak about it some later. So now I speak about 1 against 1, about dual categories. And there are some differences in the rule system in young categories and all categories. For example, in young categories, there is no strikes to the shin, only to the leg, of course, to the arm, to the helmet, to the body, but no strike to the shin, and no strike to the knee. Why? Because in this age category, it's very dangerous to strike to this area, because there are many. When the children had many strikes to this area, he or she maybe will have problem in future. So in 10, 11, and 12, 13 categories, there is no strikes to the shin and to the knee. Another feature in young categories, we have an effective time of the fight, of course, 2 minutes, but the fight will stop when somebody have 10 points. So if somebody have 10 points, stop. He's a winner. Why? Because when we have the fight during all time, there are many strikes, and it's rather dangerous to the young people, to the 10, 11, and 12, and 13. In Russia, we have a very hard recommendation of our sport ministry, etc., etc. And in Soviet Union, the contact fights before 12 years old was forbidden. Now it's not so hard, but we remember about it and try to do all these categories the most safety. My experience, due my experience, it is okay. It's the right way. So this is the most important features and differences between young categories, 10 and 11 and 12 and 13, and old categories, 14, 15, and 16, 17. Another part of rules are the same. For example, we have 2 points for the strike to the helmet and 2 points to the strike to the body, to the chest, and 1 strike to the point to the arms, legs, and another zone. Of course, we remember that in 14, 15, and 16, 17, we can strike to the knee and to the shin. And in 14, 15 category, we have 90-second effective time, and in 16, 17 category, we have 2 minutes effective time, and no stop when somebody strikes 10 or 12 or another figure of points. So in younger categories, we stop the fight when somebody have 10 points. In older category, no. In older category, we have the rule system the same in like in adult HMB. So we have effective time and strike and strike and strike, and it is okay. So what is the most important forbidden technique? Of course, the trust, like in HMB, all trust forbidden. All features from combat, throwing like this, or like judo, is forbidden, of course. In younger categories, the strike to the shin and to the knee are forbidden too. So if somebody strike to the knee or strike to the shin in younger categories, it's a stop, and after that, yellow card or red card due to the situation. So in older categories, strike to the shin and to the knee, it's okay. This part is not forbidden, but not counting. So if somebody strike to the this part of to the arm, it's not forbidden, but there is no points. Why? Because this is a rather dangerous zone too, but we cannot do this zone like forbidden zone, because there are many strikes near this, and it will be very difficult to understand is a strike here or no. But if this is a not target for result technique for to effective technique. The next one, we have some special features in HMB Soft, and now I will send to Brad a special document which I prepare for you. Just a minute, please. Just a minute, please. This one. In this document, I described all criteria of resulting technique and all criteria of mistakes which some fighters do during the HMB Soft. What is the situation? In HMB Soft, we use a round sword, like tube, not like real sword, of course. And so we have no edge and plate. We have no only tube. So, but we wait. This yes. This document, yes, of course. So, but when we work in HMB Soft fighting like marshals, we must recognize when somebody use the edge and the plate. If somebody, Bart, can you show us the next page of this document?
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I was still muted. I will show you from my screen.
Yes. This is a example of good technique. And next page, because
And I will share all of these with
yes,
everybody.
yes, thank you. This one. Thank you very much. So this is the very examples of common mistakes. On first pictures, you can see the very common mistake. We speak about it like helicopter. When somebody use his sword like helicopter, but if somebody use a real sword, he strike of the plate, not of the edge. So this is no points. This is not forbidden, but no points. In the next pictures, in the middle of this page, we have a strike with reverse edge. This is a forbidden technique in HMB soft. Why? Because sometimes when we try to use reverse strike, the strike of reverse edge like this is rather dangerous, because somebody maybe can step back and we try to do the blow, but we did a strike, and it may be very dangerous. So this is a forbidden technique, and if somebody use the reverse edge, this is the reason to stop the fight and to give them the yellow card, because this is a forbidden technique. And in the end, this is another very common mistake. If somebody strike not like this, but like this, try to hit somebody like this. This is not a forbidden technique, but not a effective technique, not a resulting technique. So if somebody do like this, it's no point. When we discuss about it, we can think that it's a very hard and very difficult. Maybe on first steps, it's rather difficult to understand when you are marshal in HMB soft list. But if you have a practice, I have maybe 2 or 3 tournaments, and it will be okay. It's not a very big problem, I think. And there are many marshal who can recognize all this problem and do his work very effective. I hope that all of yours can use this document and recognize the correct strike and correct technique and incorrect strike and techniques. So I think if you have a practice in martial walking duels, it's not very difficult to start practice martial walking HMB soft. But I think the most difficult feature is the very big speed. So HMB soft fighters do many strikes because the sword is rather light, and if you have only HMB practice, at first time it may be it's very suddenly for you, so many strikes of each fighters. But okay, I think if you have practice in HMB soft, maybe after some tournaments is not a problem for you. And if you have many practice in HMB soft tournament, after that, to be a marshal in HMB tournament, in dual tournaments, it will be not problem for you, because the strikes in steel HMB, in adult HMB, it's very slow. If we have a comparative this with HMB soft. Okay, so about rules of 5 against 5 in HMB soft. Many times somebody asked me what about some years ago about what I think about group battles with children, and I already spoke. No, against this because we cannot create the system of safety group battle for children. Sometimes we try to practice cohort fight with HMB equipment with children, but the most important problems is not a blow. The most important problem is when somebody, for example, loses his hits and sit down, another fighter maybe not see this and can step back and throw down to the list, and this is the most dangerous situation for children. And we try to find the system when children can do a group battle, a group fight, but without any throw down to the list. And 2 years ago, we created this system. What is the principles? We have a big list. The list size in accordance with steel HMB regulation. For example, one side is 10 meters and another 20 meters, like in adult HMB. And in one side we have zone to one team, and in another side we have zone to another team. We have 2 teams with 5 children in each, and they fight for 2 minutes. But when somebody lose his hit, and we have only 1 hit, and he can lose his hit when he have strike to the helmet on torso, this fighter must return to the zone of his team, wait 10 seconds, and after that can return to the fight. So no any sit down, no any lie down to the list, only, oh, I have no hits, I will run to the zone of my team, wait 10 seconds, and return to the fight. It is very funny for children because for children it is like a game. It's like a game. There is no many strikes to the children because everybody have only 1 hit. There is no any pushing, any throwing, etc., etc., etc. And in these fights, we use not a big shield, but small shield bucklers, 30 centimeters shields, and it's very very funny and interesting nomination. And why we practice this? All of you know that the most important part of modern HMB is the fighting on the border of the list, and somebody use this border, and there are many throwing, etc., etc. I think when we prepare children to connect to adult HMB, we cannot use the real training with throwing, with wrestling on the border of the list, etc., etc. It's very dangerous. But we can teach them the most important features in duels and in bullets. When they use shield and sword in duels, they not only have a practice of fencing, but practice of brave, standing, etc., etc. And when they practice 5 against 5 in HMB SOFT, they can have a practice to see all the list, not see only forward, but use his around his head and look there, here, and help his teammate and recognize where is the most dangerous zone now, etc., etc. Is a tactic practice, and we hope that this 2 nomination, shield and sword and 5 against 5, it's a very good preparing practice for children to start to adult HMB. So we have some result in it, and maybe you know some fighters in Old Friends team, Ivan Stepanov and Ivan Varenikov. They start from HMB SOFT, but in that period there is no HMB SOFT like brand. We speak the sports sword. This they start from sports sword. They start from soft weapon when they were children, and now they have a success in steel bullets. It's no problem, and it is okay. So I think this is the most important features in rules. If you need a rule system, I'm sorry, I already ready to give you a rule text of the rules about duels, and tomorrow I will send the rule in English about 5 against 5. You can use it, and I think it's very, very useful. And sometimes I have some. I not use a big shield, for example, in duels. Use only buckler in training, so it will be okay too. About the martial work in the HMB SOFT tournaments. When we are martial in HMB SOFT, we have 5 martial in one list. I speak about 1 against 1. Knight marshal in the center of the list, and corner marshals in each corner of the list. The size of the list in HMB SOFT is 8 meters. 8 meters. Each size must be 8 meters. Rather big list. So corner marshal have 2 diagonals, and each diagonal count the score to one fighter. When knight marshal speak stop, each diagonals come together, discussing the results, and after that speak about the results to knight marshal. If in one diagonals there are big differences in his counting, in his scores. For example, one marshal of diagonal speak 5 and another speak 10. Knight marshal can do a decision. He can speak 5, he can speak 10, or he can choose the figure between 5 and 10. Maybe the middle figure, maybe 6, maybe 8, but the knight marshal can speak 4 or 10 or 11, for example. Why? Because knight marshal see all the picture of the fight, and he understand which fighter winner and which loser, etc., etc. But of course, knight marshal cannot count a score. But if corner marshals cannot give him the figure, one figure, he can choose in this distance between the biggest and smallest figures of a count of one diagonal. Another, I think, the martial work is the same like in duels. For example, corner marshal cannot speak. They can only use his one hand. Corner marshal can raise one hand when he sees some violation or dangerous situation or another reason to stop the fight. And another corner marshal must repeat this movement because, for example, knight marshal cannot see if one of the corner marshal behind him, but another corner marshal raise his hand up and knight marshal see it and speak stop. In younger categories, we have another movement to corner marshal like this, 2 hands, or raise 2 hands. And corner marshals use two hands when somebody of them count 10 points to one of the fighters. So it is a signal to the night marshal to speak stop, and after that discuss to the corner with the corner marshal the situation. Of course, if night marshals see the violation or dangerous situation, etc., 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 they speak stop and do a decision about yellow card, red card, etc. In the 5 against 5, we have many marshals because we have night marshals and field marshal in the field, and we have 5 marshal in one side and in other side. Why so many marshals? Because marshals in the field speak stop and return to fighters who lose his hits, and marshal in the border uh, count the seconds to each fighter. So it's rather difficult, but this is a useful system, and we have a big competition in this system, and it was be successful. So I think these are the most important differences between HMB soft rule system and adult HMB rule system. And now I'm ready to answer your questions. Please ask me a question, and ready to answer. Please ask me a question in the chat, please, because it's more comfortable to me to read your question and after that answer. Okay.
Sergey, did you want to talk about the standard gear for children?
Excuse me.
Did you want to talk about the gear, the minimum?
Yes. Of course. It's. I speak 30 minutes, and after that answer question. And now I speak 30 minutes, and after answer question. So, because now I finished a speech only about the rules. It's not
okay.
All my speech. It's only the first part.
So yeah, anybody that has a question about what he just talked about, or if you guys want to take a quick break and grab a drink or something, now would be the time. So far, it doesn't look like there's any questions there.
Okay, so I'm ready to continue my speech, and now I will speak about the gear, of course, because now we speak about rules.
Oh, one second. They're typing a question. Sorry. She's typing.
Just a minute, please. So the criteria of or fingers is illegal. About first question about 5 against 5. So 3 minutes per one round, and we have first round, second round. If we have draw result by the rounds, we have a third round. And if we have a draw result in third round, maybe we'll have the fourth round and next round before we find the winner. So when about the criteria of winner in the round, if the time of the round over, we count. So just a minute, please. When I described the system of the 5 against 5 marshal work, I spoke about 5 marshal in one side and 5 marshal from another side. These marshals count how many times each fighters of this team return to the rest zone, wait 10 seconds, and return to the fight. So they count how many times each fighter of one teams was killed, how many times, and after the time of the round over, they count all these points and speak about it to Head Marshal, and this is the criteria of win in the round. Okay. Fingers is not illegal. Fingers is not counting. This part is not prohibited zone. So if somebody strikes to this part, there is no any penalties. No, but this is not counting zone. So if somebody strikes to this zone, to this, to this, to this, there is no score. Another questions?
Going once, going twice. I think you're good to move on.
Okay, when you think about your question, I will send to Brad another materials to our next part of our conversation. Just a minute, please.
Okay, I got it. So let's go. Here. Okay, I have your gear document. That's what you want? Strike criteria or gear document?
Oh, I see another question. Just a minute. The age categories for HMB SOFT are: first one, 10, 11, second one, 13, 10, 11, second one, 12, 13, next one, 14, 15, and next one, 16, 17, 4 categories.
Something I just remembered because we're doing the video of this too. One of us will read out the question before you answer, just for video purposes, because the chat doesn't get recorded, just for future. The contest categories, I think this is the answer for earlier question. Yes, sir. Yes. So okay. So I think we are ready to speak about the gear. And in our first picture, we have seen a fighter in all HMB SOFT gear. And what is the most important points? The most important is the helmet, of course, because all another things is not so difficult to produce. For example, the sword and the shield, it's not so difficult to do by ourselves. But the helmet, I think it's a problem, because in Russia we use the special helmet for HMB SOFT, and this is a this helmet is based on the model of helmet for combat, but in this helmet we have a special protection to this protection. Just a minute, please. Just a minute, please. I'm sorry, I saw some problem in my computer. So we have protection of the throw and neck protection. This the most important part for this helmet. So we can use the sport vest, for example, okay, from Taekwondo, from combats, from Philippines armies, for example. I think it's okay. So only one detail. In your chest protection, we must have a lumbar protection. It's very important. Another you can use for knee protection or elbow protection. We often use for skateboard protection, etc., etc., and it is okay. It's very okay. Shin protection from some combats, it's okay. So it's not there is no regulation about it. In regulation we speak that all children must have shin protection, knee protection, groin protection, arm protection, elbow protection, special vest, special helmet, special shield, and sports sword. About the sports swords. Just a minute. So I recommend use the plastic tube in the center of this sports sword. Diameter of this tube is 1 inch. 1 inch tube. This is a tube for water. I think in Russia we bought it in special shop for tube for cold water. I think in USA you have these tubes too. I think it's not problem to buy it. And we use a special soft part in this tube, and this soft part must be about the diameter of sports sword is about 7 centimeters. But we have a regulation of length of the sports sword and about weight of sports sword. So in this picture we have a special table where you can read a size of these swords. So for each all categories. So I hope you can use this document and it will be no problem. In next training process, yes, this is the, yes, thank you very much for this picture, because this is a full gear for HMB SOFT, full complete. So of course you can buy this complete, and it's no problem to buy official sports sword equipment. Now it's no problem. And it's no problem to buy it from USA, and we can send it from Russia to USA. It's no problem. But I understand that it's rather expensive, and in training process you can use the equipment which you make by yourself.
And it's not a very, well, I think it's not a very good way, but sometimes we have another chance. For example, sometimes we use the swords which we make by ourselves. It is okay, but please look at the, please show this, the helmet, please. The next picture. When yes, when you find the helmet, maybe I know that there is a rather good helmet for Philippine Eskrima, for example, and for Kudo, for example, is not no bad helmet, but please create a special protection to the throat and to the neck, because it's very important, and it's especially important for children because his neck is not very thick, and it's very important to protect this zone. Sometimes somebody asks me, the official helmet of HMB SOFT rather heavy, and is it good or no? I think it is good. It's not so heavy to do an injury to the children, but we have a very light sports sword and rather heavy helmet. And when children use this sports sword to the heavy helmet, there is no shake the head, and this is a very good protection. There is no this effect. Of course, in official competition, we use only the official equipment. And for example, if your children come to the World Championship of HMB SOFT, the organizers give them the shields, the swords, the helmet, and torso protection, etc. In all official competition, we use only the official equipment. Why? At first, because at first question is a quality of these things. Sometimes, in my experience, I had a very hard situation when some people come with his sports swords and helmet, etc., and it's not very safety things. And so if we do an official competition, we use only the official equipment. But in training, sometimes we use not so expensive things, and we use, for example, very easy helmet, very easy sports sword, not so so wonderful picture, etc., etc., etc. If you have some questions about this, you can write me in Facebook, and I can help you to buy it. It's no problem. And some special details about swords. Just a minute, I will send you a picture.
Sure.
And please show these pictures. Maybe one of these pictures, no problem. Sword. Yes. Yes, sword. Yes. Thank you very much. So, the official sports sword, there is no guard, no cross guard. Somebody in Russia or in Ukraine or in other countries use the sports sword with cross guards. I speak no. It's forbidden in competition because this is a maybe dangerous for children. If this guard very soft, there is no reason to do it. If this guard rather hard, rather heavy, it's a very very dangerous part, because sometimes in clinch we have a situation when the guard can go can strike this guard to the face, and it will be very dangerous. This is one moment. Another moment, the pommel must be very small. We use some very small pommel, but this pommel is more thick than the handle, because this you cannot use it to strike. And if we have some situation when somebody this pommel do to the face, if we have this, there is no problem, because the just a minute, just a minute. Because we have a grill in our shield, in our helmet, and one part of this grill is not so big, and this pommel is no problem to strike. So when you use this type of sword in training, maybe you can use only this soft part, not covered with fabric like this. Somebody, maybe you covered with scotch. It is rather okay for training, but in all official competition, you meet this official equipment, these swords and these helmets and shields, etc. We use two types of shields. You can use a round shield or triangle shields, and both it is okay. So the diameter of round shield is 60 centimeters, and the biggest part of triangle shield is 60 centimeters too. Now the most popular shields are triangle shields, but in our training practice we use round shield. Why? Because if you use round shield, it doesn't matter. Do you want to use left hand to the shield or right hand to the shield? Because sometimes you can meet the children who is left-handed. So, and if somebody left-handed, this is a problem to find to him the triangle shield to the right hand. But if you use round shield, is no problem. So in our club we use round shields, and it's very useful. The thick of this shield is 4 centimeters, and so I think you can use the shield which you can do by yourself in your training. It is okay. But if you want to go to the competition, you must find the official shields, round or triangle. You can choose this or that. Another point, I speak to all my students, not use shorts in training process, use only long trousers. Why? Because if you have a strikes to the shin and to the legs, the long trousers is the more safety than shorts. It's better for safety, of course. It is better to use not use tatami or mats in your gym, but use regular floor and special sport shoes. Not any training without shoes, because somebody use it, but I speak no, because we practice fencing. The HMB and HMB SOFT is a part of fencing, and there is no fencing without shoes. It's a very important part. And when the people come to the adult HMB, they must use sabatons, and they must have a practice to fencing only with shoes. It's not official position. It's my recommendation. My recommendation due my experience, and I had a coach experience about 25 or 27 years. I really don't remember. Okay, So if you have some questions about gear, about equipment, I wait these and I'm ready to answer.
The first question we have listed is it okay to use a lacrosse or hockey helmet? Obviously with added neck protection.
Okay. About hockey helmet. I think the problem of hockey helmet is a plastic helmet, not soft helmet. And if you, I have not many experience to use hockey helmets, but I think it's rather dangerous because it is not soft. And if I strike to this helmet, okay, my sword is soft, but my helmet is not very soft. I don't know about it. If somebody asks me, I not recommend this. I not recommend this. I think it's not very very safety. About protection of whole corpse, I would. Okay, I think these protections, Isabella, Mistak and Kula speak about your question. Is jacket for horse riding will be sufficient? It had protection for whole corpse. I think maybe yes. I see these pictures and I think maybe yes. Why not?
For those that are recording.
Yes, I think maybe it will be okay. It's rather thick and we have protection of whole body. Why not? Just a minute, please. Is there a list of HMB SOFT certified vendors? Just a minute, please. So now we have only one vendor, and it is a HMBIA and HMBIA soft committee, and the leader of HMBIA soft committee is Evgeny Galushin, and he can and you can bought all official equipments there because but this official equipments you must use only in official competition. So another, we have only recommendation. So if you, for example, if you use and if you bought some equipment in another vendors, you can use it in training practice, no problem. And you must remember that the most important part for official competition parts are helmet, swords, and shields. For example, vests is not so important, and for arm protection, elbow protection, you can use not especially for HMB soft. It's no problem. If you have some, for example, if you want to do an official competition, you mustn't buy all official equipment from special with emblems, with a badge, vest, etc., etc. No, helmets, shields, and swords. And okay, but you can use another part. But you can use, for example, skateboards, elbows, and knees, and for example, light boxers, this part, etc., etc. And just a minute, is Modern Sports Sword Federation is a competing league and does it still exist anymore? Just a minute. I don't know anything about MSF. It's another organization. It's we have no any events with them. So yes, it's rather similar. And for example, for our marshals to to have a practice with this league is forbidden, because I speak like a leader of Marshal Committee. For example, if I'm Marshal of HMBIA, I cannot work in IMCF and MSF, of course, so like this. The question from land person, OK, I wasn't sure if it was connected and maybe combined when HMB SOFT started. Just a minute. If you speak about MSF, no, it's not any combined with us. It's another league, like IMCF. Yes, you speak very right about Evgeny Galushin. But if you want to buy something, of course, maybe if Evgeny Galushin can answer very hurry, you can write to me, and Evgeny Galushin or me, it's the same for this question, as you wish. Oh, Roxana, hi. Nice to see you. Oh, okay, so next part of our conversation, are we ready to start? I think yes. So I preparing for you some interesting documents for tournament systems, for safety systems, and for conversation with parents. I think this is a very important for all of us. And we start our speech with information about competition. So this is not regulation, this is my recommendation, because when I start soft sort practice, it was maybe 20 years ago. So, and I already remember all mistakes in this way, and all difficulties which you can meet on this way about competition. We have some systems of competition, and the easiest is Olympic system, for example, because if you lose the fight, you go away from competition, and okay. But it's not very useful, because if you have some people from different cities or different countries, and they come to your competition from very and have a very far way to come to a competition, only one fight and that's all, it's no good. I think the better system is the pool system of groups, and I will send you documents which I prepared in Excel. Just a minute, please. It's a very easy document, but if you open it, you can see that this is a protocol for group of 3 fighters, 4 fighters, or 5 fighters. I think it's the most useful groups in HMB SOFT, because if you have, for example, 5 fighters in one group, you have 10 fights in group, it's okay. If you have 6 fighters, it's 15 fights, it's many fights. So you can use this, and this is a very ready protocols. So if you write the please show this document, and I will describe it. Okay, thank you. So you have a table in the at the end of this document, you can write this name and family name of fighters, and automatically you have whole protocols. And after that, you can use write the score, and only first list. Yes, only this list, Another it doesn't matter what. And you can use this form and have automatically all protocols for group for 3, for 5, and for 4 fighters. It's very easy. And after that, you have all scores, etc., etc., etc. You must remember, if you do a tournament with pools, with groups, from each group must go to the Olympic system 2 or 3 fighters, not 1. Why? Because if you have only 1 winner from 1 group, it is like an Olympic system: 1 lose and go away. It's no good. It is no good. So I think it is the most useful system for all tournaments. And for example, if you have 3, 4, and 5 peoples in tournament, it's 1 group. It's no problem. Round system. If you have 6 fighters, 2 group, 3 and 3. From each group, 2 fighters go to the semi-final, final, etc. For example, if you have more people, you have 9, it's 3 groups. 10, it is 2 group. Each is 5 fighters, etc., etc., etc. I think it is the best ways to do the tournament. When I have a tournament with different clubs, I trying to do that in 1 group, not 1 fight is in 1 club, in 1 club, in 1 group. If I have this possibility, I try to mix fighters in different clubs in 1 group. It's more interesting for children to try to try fencing with children from another groups. It's a very important principle. Usually, you can remember the formula. Usually, you can have 10 fights in 1 hour. If the martial team is good, in HMB SOFT, the normal figure 10 fights in 1 hour. It's okay. Sometimes 15 fights in 1 hour in 1 list. And when we plan the tournament, it's rather okay. When I have a best martial group in HMB SOFT, I can do 20 fights in 1 hour in 1 list. In younger categories, there is no so long time for fighting, because when somebody have 10 points, the fight is over. But in all the categories, when we have 90 minutes or 90 seconds or 2 minutes for 1 fight, is must plan more time for 1 list. For example, you must remember about it when you plan your tournament. If you have different years old categories, I recommend you plan at first youngest and older and older and older. And sometimes the good idea to have a 1 official start of tournament, and after that, for example, 10, 11 age category, and after that immediately a VAR ceremony, and younger categories can go home. And after that 12, 13, and after that a VAR ceremony and go home. And after that 14, 15, and after that 17, 17. Why? Because it is the most important for younger category, they come to the competition with his parents, and sometimes maybe have some another plans for weekends, etc., etc. And it's very comfortable for children fighting short event, other fights, and can go away. It's very comfortable. Unfortunately, sometimes we have a very, very big event and then many nomination. For example, in St. Petersburg, we have a tournament, Recon, I think, and I hope you hear about it. And it's not only HMB soft categories, but and categories of sports sword, and each young fighter have some practice in HMB soft nomination, in sports sword nomination, in sports sword and buckler nomination, etc., etc., and have a whole competition day. It's very interesting, but very hard. But if you have a only one nomination on HMB soft, I recommend you first have a big opening ceremony, after that younger categories, after that older, and do a VAR ceremony immediately after the finish of fights of each categories. Is more comfortable for your children, I think. Of course, it's not a law, it's only my recommendation. So now I will speak you some word about the safety in training process. And I remember that ask about the program and about the official program of HMB Soft. Now we have no official program, but we have a recommendation. Why? Because all of yours, I think, have your experience. For example, somebody may be in karate, somebody may be in another combat, somebody may be in sport fencing or on HMB, and you can use your experience in your training. It's not problem. And for example, in Russia, we have some clubs of sport of soft sword in fencing base. For example, my club Peresvet was based on my experience in fencing, but my friend have a club in Orekhovo-Zuyeva, and they based on wushu practice, and it's very effective too. So it's no problem. It's no problem. The problem is that you must remember that you practice with children, and there are many special features to the gym, to the training process, etc. I think now I speak you very short some features, and maybe next our meeting we speak about program creation, creating. So I think, I hope to help you to create your program of HMB Soft practice and training in accordance in your situation and your law system. Now, I have no many information about situation in USA, for example, but I think after our discussion, we'll have some, you can write me some letters and describe it, and in our next online conversation, we're trying to create a program. I think it's possible. But now I will speak you some short recommendation about safety in HMB Soft. First, I recommend you use only the equipment of high quality. Maybe not official, it's okay, but high quality, not old helmet, not maybe old and old shield, etc., etc. Only high quality equipment. It's the first point for safety. Another one is some details about gym. First, it must be rather big, not very short, and it is the most comfortable. If you have no gym, it is a possibility to have a training in open air. Okay, for example, I have no this chance because I live in St. Petersburg, and the weather in St. Petersburg is very bad, and maybe I have only some days in the year when I can practice in open air. And for or for us, the gym is the most important thing. First one, you must have a very many air of this gym. Second one, no any problem with floor. The floor is a very important for fencing, for HMB SOFT, for example. There is no any another chance. Okay, you can use the tatami. Okay, but if you have a chance use a regular floor, is better. It's better. Another thing, you must have a special place where you can just a minute. You must have a special place for storing equipment. It's very important. Why? Because any children want to take sword immediately, to take shield immediately, and try to strike, etc., etc. It is very bad. So in our gym, we have a special place for equipment, and only after my command, children can take shield, sword, etc. It's very important too. Of course, all gym must be shower and WC and toilet, because this is very important for children. And now I will send the special document which I prepared about the safety. Just a minute, please. So it's not an official regulation, it's my recommendation for you. I prepare it due my personal experience, and I will speak you about it. Just a minute, please. Just a minute, just a minute. Okay, so the teacher come to the hall no later than 15 minutes before the start of the lesson, and the teacher see all the gym and equipment, and defective equipment should be removed. This is very important. When you have a gym, you must come there before children. It's very important. Children are allowed into the hall only if the teacher is already inside, not another way. Why? Because the gym, it's a rather dangerous zone. And if some of your pupils, some of your students come to this gym before you, maybe can try to use this shield, or can try to use another equipment and have an injury, and it's very bad. So you must come at first and meet all your students in your gym. Before the lesson, before start of the lesson, the teacher conducts a mandatory rule call of children, and also ask them about their well-being. It's a very important too. So why? If you have, for example, 10 students, 10 children, you must count all of them and mark the children present in special journal. Why? Because if some of these children not come to your gym, maybe he has some problems. But if there is no mark in your journal, his parents can ask you. So your children must be in your gym, in your training. He come to you or no? Maybe you can speak no, but can you? What is the? Just a minute, please. But if there are no mark in the journal, you will not be able to prove it. But if you have this mark, maybe the parent ask my son must come to your training and he don't return my home. Do you think something about it? You speak no, because this is the mark in my journal. He cannot come to my gym, so I don't know where is he, and it's okay for you. It's very important. So as I spoke earlier, in Russian we have a rather hard law system, and if we have some problems and injuries in with children in our training, there's many problems, and so we have many documentations, many journals, marks, etc. in this. Children perform all action only at the command on the teacher. So if, for example, you ask all children about his well-being, okay, you start your training and only your command, they start run or stop or fight or take equipment, etc. During the workout, during the training, the child cannot leave the gym. So in only in special situation the child can leave the gym. Maybe, for example, if your mother call you and ask especially to about it. Only in this situation. Why? Because when the children come to a gym, this is a when the children come to a gym, you start to just a minute. You start to take responsibility for him, and you must know where the children during your training. So, and at the end of training, the teacher again asks the children about their well-being. If some problem, immediately ask to medic, and make sure that all children leave the gym. And only after that, the teacher, the coach can leave the gym by for themselves. Only after children. Why? Because the gym is a zone of danger, and this is the reason why you must be clear that there is no children in this area. So we have some types of trainings. We have some types of lessons in HMB Soft. Like in all combats, I think it's not so special feature, special thing. So we have technical tactical lesson, technical tactical type of training, physical education type of training, physical and tactics. So in HMB Soft, the training only for physical conditions is not very often, because we training children. It's not so important for them, and it's a danger. But the the widespread type of training is technical tactical. And tactical training is sometimes we use too. Tactical training is a training with many sparrings, of course, but before it we must teach children to special technique. And in this document I will send you the typical algorithm of structure of typical training. It's very easy, I think, but maybe it will be useful for you. Usually, in my training is 1.5 an hour, 90 minutes. My training is, I use the training in 90 minutes. 5 minutes for greetings, discussing about well-being, etc., etc. About 20 minutes for warm-up exercise, and after that about 15 minutes about basic technique. And so from this 90 minutes is 40 minutes for greetings, warm-up exercises, and basic techniques. After that, maybe 10 minutes for repetition the past material if it is necessary. And after that, about 25 minutes for main part of training about new technique, new movement, etc. And after that, final exercise and final greetings, etc., etc., etc. Usually, I have 2 or 3 trainings in the week. If I have 3 trainings in the week, I have 2 technical tactical trainings. In these trainings, maybe only 1 or 2 sparrings for each people, and other times technique, 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 and technique. But one training usually in Saturday. In my practice, usually it was in Saturday. It was a tactical training, many sparrings, not very many techniques, warming up exercise, and sparring. This is a good plan for a regular HMB SOFT group, not special sporting team, etc., etc. Because if we have a good sport result, usually we have 4 or 5 training in the week, etc., etc. But for regular group, maybe 2 times a week, it's okay. So if you have only 2 times a week training, 2 trainings in a week, I recommend you one of them do a very technique training, and another then, for example, maybe 65% for technique and 35% for sparring. If we're preparing to competition, for example, before a month from competition, we have many sparring days, many sparring trainings, not many new technique, but sparring, and sparring. If it is interesting for you, you can write me questions about training process, about the situation in law system in USA, about your situation in your city or your club. And in our next meeting in internet, I try to create the program with you and for you, because I have some programs on HMB SOFT in Russia, but this is a program with our specificities. If you ask me some questions, maybe next time we'll try together to create a special program for HMB SOFT education for USA, for example. I think it is possible, because I already have this practice, but in Russia, in another city in Russia, and I hope we try to do it for USA. I think it will be very interesting. And it's fine. I prepare for you 7 reasons why the child should try to HMB SOFT. This is a very important when you speak with parents, I think, because some of them ask, oh, we have many sport groups in our district, for example, football, and maybe another, and karate, and why my children should try to HMB SOFT. So I had many this conversation with parents, and I will give you the result of my experience in this. At first, HMB SOFT is very sporty. It's a great way to grow physically, and it's of course like this because our equipment is not very hard, but we have a many aerobic movement. It's very interesting. It's very sometimes very hard, and this is a good way to grow physically. And HMB SOFT is not only speed of movement, in speed of thought, of course, because all fencing is a art of choosing. It's not about only physically, it's about brain, of course, because you must think very quickly, like in chess, but in a real fight. It's very difficult, but it's very useful to train your brain, I think. The thought, I understand that my English is not perfect, but I hope you understand my things about it. Maybe if this text is not very clear, after our discussion, I try to speak about it more clear. So HMB SOFT teach you to make a choice and to be responsible for it. I think making the only right decision and understanding that no one but you is responsible for your own choice is a skill that your child will learn. And this skill, I think, is very important for every citizen. Next, HMB SOFT is a discipline. In training and competition, we learn to use only the movement in accordance with the rule. And our children understand that the rule, it's very important. The rules matter. And after that, they understand that not only HMB's soft rule is very important. They understand that all rules are very important. And for example, they understand that it was maybe law system in your country, and it's very important. And you can, they cannot can try to break this, etc., etc. Next one, HMB SOFT is not only about competition. It is about history too, because we use shield and sword. We very often speak about knights. We speak about history. We speak about history clothes, for example, for history battles, for example, for history culture, and many our students was interested in history after this. All HMB SOFT events in Russia, I based on Russian experience, of course. Many HMB SOFT events is the same that HMB events. And so when our students come to HMB SOFT competition on Recon, for example, they see all adult HMB, all knights with very great armors, and another reenactor people who speak about, for example, World War II or another part of history. And maybe in many our students after that want to have a historical education, and I think it's very important for education. HMB SOFT and all HMB SOFT fighters must be very polite, because in training, in competition, the child learn to observe etiquette, to respect teachers, club mates, and rivals. And of course, HMB SOFT is a very good fun. And I hope that the HMB SOFT help to children go away from computer and go away from bad company with drugs, with alcohol, etc. Because HMB SOFT is a sport, and a very funny and interest sport. And I think this is the 7 reason who help the parents to choose HMB SOFT like hobby for those children. Okay, and now I'll wait your question. All these documents I already sent to Brad, and after that, I think, Brad, you can send it to all people who in our discussion now.
Yeah, we're gonna get it up on the Google Documents, and we'll be able to share it for everybody who wants them.
Okay, I'm waiting your question. So when you think about question, I will speak some words about the program of HMB SOFT, because I hope that our next meeting we must discuss the program, the system of programs. So in our program, you must think about our tasks and about our results. And when we start to create the program, we must understand how many training we can have in a week and in the year. I think the good idea to create a program for 3 years. Why? Because 1 year is only the entrance to the HMB SOFT, to all practice, not only to HMB SOFT, for karate, for fencing, for football. First year is only the entrance. So I hope that next time we try to create a 3 years program for HMB SOFT in USA. At first, please think about the tasks. Why? Because you must use this program not only for us, but for maybe some schools, for some official clubs, administratives, etc., etc. And for example, you must think of what targets of this program in accordance with all situation in the city, for example. So I live in St. Petersburg, and for example, for us, it's very interesting the connection with European culture, for example, and I speak about it in my program. But maybe in other cities we have some another situation to speak about it. All programs must consist of these parts. First one, tasks and targets. Second one, planning results. Third one, very short plans, maybe 3 trainings a week, 2 trainings a week, how many trainings a year, etc., etc. Next point. Next point, just a minute. Training content. And next point is the equipment, gyms, etc., etc. I hope we can try to create this program during our next meeting. And if you have any question, I think we can finish now. Finish our speech now, and I am ready to plan our next meeting about creating the program. And after this program, so now I have a plan to sum our meetings. Next one, we speak about program, and next one, I'm ready to show you online training, because now in my gym, it's a special room in my gym, and when I speak with you in another room, my friend have a real training with children, and if it is interesting for you, next one I can show you the real training in HMB SOFT in Russia online, and you can ask question for children, ask question for real training of HMB SOFT online in real time. We can do it, no problem.
That sounds amazing. Like that would be wonderful.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. That would be absolutely a really cool thing to see. Is it going on live?
Okay, so thank you very much for all. It's very pleasure for me to try to help you. It's very necessary to create a big and good and strong HMB SOFT team in USA, and I think we can do it together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, that was great. I know English isn't your first language, so I really appreciate you sticking with it and getting this information to us. So it was very good.
Thank you very much.
All right. So let's close this out.